Hello everyone. Thank you for standing by and welcome to our webinar, Prematurity Awareness and Prevention, Working Together for Stronger, Healthier Babies, sponsored by IsisParenting and presented by Dr. Alexis Travis, State Director of Program Services at the March of Dimes, Massachusetts chapter. My name is Chris Just and I'm the Executive Director of Prenatal Education here at ISIS, a certified nurse midwife and your moderator today, along with Nancy Holtzman. She's our VP of Clinical Content, a pediatric nurse, and IBCLC. She will be typing with you in the chat room. During today's presentation, all participants will be in a listen-only mode. However, you may submit questions to us at any time by typing them through the chat feature located to the left of your screen. We've incorporated many of the already submitted questions into today's presentation, and we'll take additional questions as time allows. This webinar is being recorded, and you will receive a link to the recording by email tomorrow along with additional resources. So if you miss something or need to step away for any reason, that's okay. IsisParenting is proud to host today's webinar. ISIS is the nation's most trusted prenatal and early parenting destination. We provide innovative programs and a highly edited selection of products for expecting and new families in our 4 Boston area centers and online at IsisParenting.com. Watch for our new centers opening this summer in the Dallas, Fort Worth, and Atlanta areas. As I mentioned, I'm Chris Just and I'll be your moderator today. And now it is my pleasure to introduce our presenter for today's webinar. Alexis Travis is the State Director of Program Services at the March of Dimes, Massachusetts chapter. In her current position, she helps lead some of the state's maternal and child health initiatives, oversees community grants, and the state's only chapter-managed NICU Family Support Program. Alexis is also the Administrative Director of the Massachusetts Perinatal Quality Collaborative, a group that encompasses representatives from the 47 birthing hospitals in Massachusetts. Born and raised in the United Kingdom, she attained a Master of Pharmacy with honors from the University of Bradford in 2006 and subsequently moved to the United States. After becoming a mother, Alexis completed a PhD in public health with Walden University, specializing in community health education and promotion. She is passionate about health disparities in women's health and works on research in this area. Experiencing 2 high-risk pregnancies led Alexis to pursue her passion of improving the health of babies at the March of Dimes. Thank you, Alexis.
Thank you, Chris. And hi to everybody who's joining us today. Thank you for joining us on this bright and sunny day here in Boston. For those of you who are not familiar with the mission of the March of Dimes, I wanted to start by just sharing a little information about that. And the mission of the March of Dimes is to improve the health of babies by preventing premature birth, birth defects, and infant mortality. The March of Dimes cares, and this is how we accomplish our mission through community programs that help moms have healthy pregnancies, advocating for maternal and child health issues and programs, researching problems that threaten our babies, providing education to mothers and healthcare providers, and providing support, comfort, and information to those families who are going through the difficult journey of having a child in the NICU. Almost 4 million babies are born in the U.S. every year, and the March of Dimes has helped each and every one of them. Through funding research that led to groundbreaking discoveries such as the polio vaccine, which every child receives today, surfactant therapy, which newborn babies receive to help them to be able to breathe, and newborn screening. We know that premature birth is a cause of additional medical expenses, and by preventing that, we could save over $26 billion every year, so the impact would be significant. But today I really wanted to focus on preventable preterm birth and early birth and talk about why the last weeks of pregnancy are so important. So as you can see on the graph, more and more babies were born sooner between the time span of 1992 to 2006. Some of these changes are associated with a shift in inductions and scheduled C-sections. We know that early elective non-medically indicated deliveries are between 37 and 39 weeks are associated with several complications, including increased admissions to the NICU, problems with feeding, and problems with breathing. And these increase exponentially for every week prior to 39 weeks gestational age. So despite all these complications, why do people continue to schedule early elective deliveries? Well, it's unclear. We know that doctors are in control of the scheduling, but we don't know what drives that decision to schedule early elective deliveries. We know that some of there are perceived benefits to mom. For example, being able to plan around a convenient date and time which is convenient for her and the family. If mom has a history of fast labors, she might want to be able to plan ahead and make sure that she's going to be able to make it to the hospital in time. And then we also know that at the end of pregnancy, it can be uncomfortable for women, and they might choose to end their pregnancy early. And that's okay, right? Well, we can see that many women do believe that it is okay to deliver early. When asked what is the safest or earliest point in pregnancy that it is safe to deliver, given that there is no medical indication for an early delivery, over 50% of women said between 34 to 36 weeks, while only 7.6% selected 39 to 40 weeks, which was the correct answer. You can see that many women do not know that this causes harm to their baby. And then what motivates obstetricians? Well, it's not only convenient for mom, it can be convenient for the obstetrician too. It guarantees they'll be able to be at the birth for a lady that they might have treated for over 30 weeks. They avoid scheduling conflicts and avoid being woken up in the middle of the night. And many have the attitude, well, what's the harm? The NICU can handle it anyway. And it is true that the NICU is there, but it is of utmost importance that providers only schedule elective deliveries for a medical reason or wait until after 39 weeks. So the March of Dimes developed a consumer education campaign in order to educate women about the importance of the last weeks of pregnancy. And the central message of this campaign is, if your pregnancy is healthy, it is best to stay pregnant for at least 39 weeks. This message is intended for women who are at the beginning of their pregnancy or are thinking about becoming pregnant. And obviously we understand that there are some cases where there is a medical indication and deliveries need to be scheduled prior to 39 weeks. Additional information about this campaign is available on our website at marchofdimes.com/39 weeks. In addition to our website, we also produce print materials that go to medical providers, and we give those out at health fairs and educational events. And you can see that those are available in English and in Spanish. To the left, you can see our brain development card, which shows that at 35 weeks, the brain is only 2/3 of what it weighs at 39 to 40 weeks. In the last 6 weeks of pregnancy, the brain almost doubles in size. And during that time, vital connections are made that allow for balance, coordination, learning, and the development of social skills. So those really are important weeks in a pregnancy. We also educate providers, and the March of Dimes developed a toolkit which enables to providers to look at policies in their hospital in order to eliminate non-medically indicated early elective deliveries. In a recent study published by Oshiro and others, use of the toolkit in 25 hospitals amongst the 5 largest states resulted in an 83% reduction in early elective deliveries. So this provides the evidence that lets us know that it is possible to change medical culture in order to affect medical practice. But for those families who do have a baby who was born too sick or too soon, the March of Dimes is there. And we have a NICU family support program which hospitals can provide at their hospital. And it provides information, comfort, and support to families that are going through that difficult journey of either having a child in the NICU, transitioning home, or even when a baby passes away. We contribute to the professional development of NICU staff, and we promote family-centered care. The March of Dimes has worked with various organizations on a global scale to raise awareness and implement policies that address significant maternal-child health issues. 2 global reports serve as a call to action for healthcare providers. The one on the right is the Global Action Report of Preterm Birth. November is Prematurity Awareness Month, and every year on November 17, we celebrate the annual Prematurity Awareness Day. During the month, we highlight efforts in prematurity awareness via social media and community activities. As I mentioned before, 2011 was our first Prematurity Awareness Day, and we started off with 5 partners. And last year, in 2012, we had grown to over 50 partners, which is significant progress, and we'd like to keep that going this year. So you can show your support by liking us on Facebook for World Prematurity Day, and that link will be provided after the webinar, and also information about how you can get involved in a local community activity near you. Or just share your story, sign of hope for somebody else who is going through that difficult journey. In November, we also report on our annual birth report card. As you can see from the map here, nationally, we have an average rate of preterm birth, which is 11.7%. That gives us a grade C. In order to attain a grade A, we would have to reduce this to 9.6%. And we also produce a state-by-state comparison. To access more information about how your state is doing in terms of preterm birth, we'll provide a link to the webinar. We report out annually on how our prematurity campaign is doing and the significant progress that has been made. This year, we celebrated the 10-year anniversary of the Prematurity campaign, and our report highlights the partnerships, initiatives, programs that have been put in place in order to make progress. Now we can say that 1 in 9 babies is born prematurely, in comparison to when the campaign began in 2003, when there was 1 in 8 babies born premature. So we've made significant progress from 12.8% in 2006 after sustained years of increase in preterm birth. We've now had 5 years continuous decline, which puts us at 11.7%. However, there's still a long way to go to reaching our overarching goal of reaching 9.6%. So now I'd like to hand you over to Kim Bales, who is our Community Director in Massachusetts, and she'll tell you more about what we do in order to support our mission and the ways that you can get involved.
Thank you, Alexis. I wanted to touch base briefly on all the great things that we have done. We actually can't accomplish that without having those donor dollars. I usually say no mission, no money, so you have to have money to have the mission. And the March of Dimes is able to do that through our donor dollars. And we actually do that through one of our signature events, March for Babies. That is our #1 fundraiser for the March of Dimes. And we have over 900 communities involved in the March for Babies across the country. And we have 1 million individuals participate in this with being walkers, volunteers, and sponsors. And we actually started the March for Babies, which started with Walk America in 1970 for many of you who might have been involved in that at that time. You might have remembered the dimes in the little pockets that you got at school. And we have raised over $2 billion thus far through the March for Babies fundraising campaign. And last year alone, we raised over $106 million for the March for Babies. Not only for the March of Babies, the March of Dimes has what's called the Signature Chef's Auction, which is in all your local communities. And then we have prematurity awareness. We also have what's called the NICU Family Support that's also in your communities. And some other things that Alexis touched base on is the professional education, the community services, the health education, the Healthy Babies, Healthy Business Center for companies. We have advocacy efforts in a lot of the communities across the nation. And locally here in Massachusetts, we do over $7.8 million in research and through the nation alone. We have global programs as well. But March for Babies happens to be our signature event, and we're touching base on it because IsisParenting is supporting locally here in Boston with us as one of our national sponsors. To get involved in your community, you can go to marchforbabies.org. You can actually join a team, start a team, or find a team. And we encourage you, whether you're going to join a team or start a team, to find an event locally in your community and go out there and just find out what the March of Dimes is about and find out what we do. And if you go click on Find an Event on marchforbabies.org, you can put in your zip code and they'll show you all the closest events that are happening in your community. And this weekend happens to be our National March for Babies event weekend, so we hope that you'll come out and participate with us, because we want to imagine a day that every baby is born healthy, and we can, and hopefully you can as well. I wanted to take this opportunity to open it back up for questions and answers with Chris and Alexis and myself.
Hello everyone, this is Chris. Thank you very much, Alexis and Kim. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to type them in. We are very proud here at ISIS to be participating in the march on the 11th with our team captain, CEO Heather Coughlin, ISIS CEO, and very happy to support all the efforts and research that the March of Dimes does for us. I see we have a couple of questions here. There's one that says, if I will have a cesarean for medical reasons at 39 weeks, should I try to wait until labor begins to let the baby stay inside for more time and then have a cesarean section? Alexa, I don't know if you have thoughts on that.
Well, it just depends on your individual situation, and your provider will be, best informed and able to advise you about that. And definitely, we recommend staying pregnant for at least 39 weeks in cases where there is no medical indication for early delivery. However, in your case, you obviously have some medical issues going on, and so your provider will be best informed to advise you on that.
Alexis, we have another question here. Could you reiterate how much more brain growth is going on towards the end? I know people think, well, I'm at term, and term starts at 37 weeks, and so it's okay, but we know there's still some growth going on. Could you reiterate what's still developing at that point and what other organs might be still developing?
Yeah, so in the last weeks of pregnancy, the brain is still developing, and as I said, in the last 6 weeks, the brain doubles in size, and during that time, vital connections are made, which helps your baby to be able to develop in terms of balance, cognition, development of social skills, and so it's a very important time. Also, during the last weeks of pregnancy, the lungs are still developing, the eyes are still developing, and so during that time, it's very important for your baby so that they can be born healthy to stay in the womb and continue to develop until it's time for them to come out.
Alexis, would you recommend that even at 39 weeks, if a pregnancy is healthy, that elective delivery is not basically recommended, that people go into labor on their own, even from 39 weeks on, if possible? What is your point of view on that?
39 complete weeks is what we recommend for women to stay pregnant. Obviously, if there's no medical indication, it's nice to wait until your baby is ready to come out between 39 to 40 weeks, and possibly even beyond that. However, each individual has to make their own decisions.
And do you have any recommendations to help some of the providers, the physicians, who have in some cases some tough issues with their schedule? If they're very busy, you could see why there may be some interest in planning elective deliveries even at 39 weeks. What are some? Do you have any ideas for how we can help physicians, manage their schedule, manage their jobs, and still be able to wait for people to go into labor naturally, assuming there's no medical reason?
Yeah, well, actually, Massachusetts, I work closely with the Massachusetts Perinatal Quality Collaborative, and they're recommending that providers implement policies in their hospitals, such as a hard stop to prevent early elective deliveries, in which case the hospital does not allow scheduling before 39 weeks unless there is a valid medical indication that suggests that an early elective delivery is required. And then even in that case, a committee comes together to kind of weigh up whether or not the elective delivery should go ahead. So in that way, things are tightening up and hospitals are regulating the number of early elective deliveries. And to providers, I think just becoming informed and knowing that why the last weeks of pregnancy are so important and realizing those are more important than their own schedules, and possibly even allowing somebody else to deliver if they know they're not going to be available.
That's great. I have to say I've attended the Massachusetts quality forums, and it's a great way to make sure that people are all on the same page as far as this topic is concerned. We have another question here. It says, what type of NICU support does the March of Dimes provide?
Well, the March of Dimes has a NICU family support program, which hospitals can opt to have. And it basically involves our NICU family support specialists being in the hospital, providing education to families who have a baby who's born too sick or too soon, providing information, comfort, and support. And in addition to our NICU family support program, we also have an online forum, Share Your Story, where parents really come together in a community and support each other by sharing their own individual circumstances and situation, and it really just provides support, a place where parents can ask questions and have answers in a safe environment.
That's great. Thank you very much. And I think that we're all set on our questions. If anybody has a few more, feel free. But I want to thank both Dr. Travis and also Kim for coming today. We've come to the end of our presentation. Please remember to check your email for the recording and other resources. We will send those out tomorrow. And again, I want to thank Dr. Travis and also Kim. Thank you so much for sharing this valuable information. Thanks to everyone for attending. We hope to see you at another ISIS online event soon.